It's Hanukkah, and you're supposed to eat oily foods on Hanukkah, and one of the foods that you eat on Hanukkah are latkes, which are potato pancakes, and I wanted to make them. So we're going to start by cutting this potato, and this potato is really hard to cut in half for some reason. And then we're going to put it through a blender, and this blender has a special blade on it right now that will make sure that it gets shredded up as if it's in, like, as if you're grating a carrot or something, and it becomes very like long strips. It's like a potato hairs almost. And then we're going to dump it, once we're done with all of our potatoes, we're going to dump it into a giant ball so that we can mix it later. We also wanted to do some sweet potato latkes to give some like variety and a little bit of a different taste. So you're going to complete the same process. You're going to peel sweet potatoes, you're going to cut them in half, you're going to put them through the blender, make sure that they look like what you want, and then you're going to put them into a giant bowl and so that you can add all of your flavors and seasonings to them. As you can see now, I'm adding them all to a bowl. And then potatoes have a lot of juice and starch in them, and you want to get rid of them, otherwise they're not going to be as crispy. So you usually want to take a cheesecloth and just put potatoes in it, and then just squeeze as hard as you can over a sink to get all of your liquid and starch out. And just so you know, you can get like all of your liquid and starch out, and it can feel like so dry, and you're like, oh my god, how much is there in it? But then at the end, you'll realize that there's so much liquid. At the end, we had to strain the potatoes because there was so much liquid just sitting in the bowl. You're then gonna add eggs. That's the yellow stuff on top of it. And then we wanted to go with some pepper, some ground pepper. Where we went with some garlic powder to give it some nice garlic powder taste. And we added some salt. And you want to add a decent amount of salt because potatoes absorb salt very quickly. So you want to add a decent amount. And then because flavor is always good and you always want that little bit of onion taste, we blended up onion a little, and we added some onion into it also to give it some flavor. And then you're just going to get your hands messy in there and just mix it all up. And then you're going to form it into little patties, and you can see here I'm cooking it. And this is what they look like in the end. They ended up being super crispy, super yummy. Like I said, they do absorb salt very quickly, so I do wish there was a little bit more salt on it. But biting into these, I had them right as they were hot. They were so good. And you can eat them with some sweet sour cream and some applesauce and some blocks with the sour cream, and they're delicious. I suggest you make these for Hanukkah. Delicious.